Preventing scams for seniors. The median individual loss to fraud reported in 2018 showed a significant increase in fraud over the age of 80. As you can see in the diagram here, between 70 and 80, the loss per year was around $767, but over the age of 80, it was $1,700, or double the amount. How much is lost to seniors by scams? A lot of money, $36.5 billion in 2017, and only growing in amount. Why are seniors so vulnerable? Because they are trusting and they have accumulated wealth. 2 universities did studies where they looked at the aging brain of seniors. They confirmed this with MRIs and found the area of the brain that is trusting gets bigger as you get older, and the area that makes you suspicious gets less. They theorize that this is an adaptive event that allows you to be more trusting as you get older. Now, the primary financial manager may have been a spouse that has passed away. This leaves the remaining senior to look after the financial planning, which they have never done and don't feel confident. There could be some mental illness, confusion, memory loss, even dementia or progressing to Alzheimer's disease. There could be poor vision or poor hearing, which makes communication difficult, particularly over the phone. There could be a loss of existing support group. All your friends have passed away. Who are you going to ask for advice? And there's some major financial decisions to be made. Sale of a home or moving into supportive care. We recommend that you ask for help. Now let's look at common scams that target the elderly. The first is with phones. Let's look at the scams that occur when you're using a telephone. These people are often very authoritarian. They phone at inopportune times, are very demanding and authoritative. Seniors really don't do well with this, and they often give out information they shouldn't when confronted. IRS tax scams. This is common. You will often get people calling, and they try to entice you into doing something because the IRS is going to take your house away or doing something bad to you. This never happens in the real world, and if the IRS will only contact you by a registered letter. This is a utility scam that was in our local paper. There was a telephone conversation. There was authority, which the individual indicated they were going to turn off the power. There was an urgency that it had to be paid right today. And there was also, it must be paid by a prepaid debit card. This, of course, was a scam, and when the money was paid through the prepaid card, the couple lost all their money. Now, the primary defense that you have as a senior is a telephone answering machine. Scammers don't leave messages. So before you'll see on the left-hand side, you'll see one of the first answering machines that were designed. Now, hopefully no one has that. The second one is the one in the middle, and I still see when I go out to do house calls and support calls for technology and seniors, I still see this type of answering machine being used. Now, these answering machines were made about 20 or 30 years ago and have those micro cassettes. Please throw those out and get rid of them. The digital answering machine that you see on the right is easy to use. You usually can purchase these for less than $20 and work much better. On the left, you'll see a little bit more money. You can get really big keys for it, and you'll get an LCD display, and this works very well. The one on the right, the Panasonic, is the one I have. It has Bluetooth on it, and both my cell phones Bluetooth into this portable phone system, so that when my wife or I come in, our cell phones actually connect to the portable unit and can ring through the house. This is a little more advanced, but there are lots of options when we talk about answering machines. And again, it's important to realize that scammers don't leave messages. And if one did, you still have lots of time to think about it, maybe get some help, have someone come over and help you manage the call if you need to call somebody. But scammers generally don't leave messages. Now, I was a physician for many years. I've retired, but in my 35-year career, I spent usually an hour a day trying to phone people. I have a pet peeve about answering machines and would like to explain a couple of things to you. Please set your answering machine to ring after 3 or 5 rings. When you answer, your answering machine by default will not be set to either of those two settings. In other words, it's the ring, ring, ring forever until the answering machine clicks in. If you decide that you want to have all your phone calls come in and have your answering machine pick them up, set it to 3 rings so people aren't inconvenienced. Ring, 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 and it answers. If you want a little more time for mobility issues, set it to 5 rings. But please don't leave it on no rings, because then it takes forever. It's also helpful to make a message. You don't have to give any personal information, but it is helpful if you identify the house so that at least when the person phones, we know that it's the right person. Again, limit personal information. Check call forwarding from other numbers, and always test from another number. The next thing I want to talk about is voicemail. This occurs on a cell phone, and it's called voicemail. How does it work? Well, that's very interesting. And the problem is, on cell phones, voicemail is a bit more complicated than a simple answering machine. Personally, I find a lot of people don't know how to use voicemail. I think it's important that you learn this if you're going to be using your cell phone as a primary phone. Leave a personal message, and please check daily. A lot of important messages will come in, particularly from your doctor's office, your pharmacy. It's important that you get these messages on a daily basis. If you do still have a home phone, you have a landline, then you can have the messages forward to your home phone. And there also is spam identification available on your cell phone. Now, your cell phone has a lot of advantages in that you have apps that can help you block unwanted calls. And there are more apps and more availability on your cell phone than there are on a landline. And I'm not going to go into all these right now, but just to say that there are many options for you. So you may find that if you're going to use your cell phone as your primary number, then you may want to look at a number of different apps that will help you block unwanted calls. I have a Magic Jack, and on my Magic Jack, there's an excellent blocking feature called automated call screening. When I turn this on, when you call me, the Magic Jack system will ask you to type in a number. This number could be between 1 and 9 and changes all the time. So if it says, please push 4 to connect, you push 4 and connect. But the spammers with their automatic dialing system can't do that. So I basically have no spam calls on my Magic Jack line. So check with your phone provider and your phone service and see if something like this. The other thing is important to turn on call ID. Your loved ones, your family will want to call and answer the phone for them. They're spending some time trying to help you, and you can, by having call ID turned on, you'll know who they are and you can answer the phone so it doesn't have to go to an answering machine. Let's talk about the person-to-person scam that can occur. This is relatively rare now, but you have to be very careful who you let into your house. This was a scam that occurred in August when a man dressed in a business attire arrived at a victim's house and pretended to be from the Department of Treasury, police said. Of course, this cost the couple a lot of money, and they did not get it back, unfortunately. And this was a person-to-person scam where they let the person in their house. Again, most government agencies would contact you by letter, letting you know that they want you to set up an appointment. There should be some form of communication with the agency, so be careful. A large one is through the mail. And this online gambling is a huge problem. If you look at the plus 60 fraud categories, you'll see that tech scams are at the top, but the prizes, sweepstakes, and lottery scam is still significant. I have a sad story about a good friend of mine. He was a surgeon. His name was Sam. He came to our community with his family when he was about 45 years old. He was a pilot, an excellent surgeon, and a good friend of mine. He finally built a house 2 doors down from me, and we had a lot of great times together. Unfortunately, his wife died of a terrible disease. He retired and suffered the same problem many of us will have as we get older with dementia. In very short order, his family came and talked to me because they were concerned about the amount of money that was going out each day. We devised and this was going out through online gambling. So we devised a system that his mail would come to my house, and I would sort it and make sure that only the information he required would go to him. When the mail truck arrived, they did not deliver it through personal mail. It was actually a big truck, because he was getting over 200 applications a day for lottery prize sweepstakes. This was a very sad situation and only got worse with time. And there was really no evidence of any prior gambling habit. I never saw him gamble in his life. Sadly, this is a problem with dementia, and certainly the online sweepstakes, prizes, lotteries that mail to your house often prey on the elderly. So if you are looking or caring for people, please, please, please check their accounts, and if you see a lot of money going out each day, think about gambling. Now, romance scams, this was very interesting. I'm 67 years old, being married for 45 years. When I was courting my wife, there were no such things as computers or the internet for sure. So we had ways in which we met young people, and we developed a relationship and got married. Now things are a lot different, particularly with COVID, but I would say that in my research, it indicates that over 50% of people develop relationships now through online dating. Now, we may think this is odd, but actually it isn't, and it gives you actually a good opportunity to find somebody who is similar to the needs that you have. So you have to be careful though, because there's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And there are many online services to help you to help you figure out how to do this. But as with anything, there are also bad situations you can get yourself into. This is a case of a lady who met a man online. He was from Mexico. He was a very nice person, had a very, she courted him for about a year, and then they decided to get together. She went to Mexico, met his family. He was a very nice man, had nice children, very wealthy, and they decided to get married. She met his family, and then they were going to come back up to Miami and meet her family and then get married. On the way to the airport to return to Miami, he got a phone call. And he said one of his businesses needed him and that he would meet her in Miami the next day. She said that was fine. He paid for her trip and the hotel. Oh, he said, by the way, rather than take my suitcase back with me, could you take my suitcase to the hotel in Miami so I have it when I get there? She was arrested in Miami with a suitcase full of heroin. Took her about 5 years to try and get the charges dropped. They finally were dropped, but it created a living nightmare for her. So again, you have to be very careful. This is an Arizona man who used a dating app, and he was scammed out of thousands of dollars. This was an interesting one. This was, this was a lady from Oregon who was swindled out of her life savings. This is a statue of a lion in China, and her future husband was supposedly part of an international organization to try and free this lion and bring it to the United States. She donated about $200,000 to help ship this lion to the United States. Of course, there was never such a plan in place, and the money was lost. Again, Americans lose around $201 million in online romance scams. Now that doesn't mean all online romances are not good, but it means you need to pay attention and learn how to do it. Oftentimes, the perpetrators claim to be professionals. They're often, will tell you they're deployed by the military. They may be working on an oil rig, or they may be a doctor embedded with international groups. They insist they need some help. Maybe their paycheck hasn't come in, and they need money, and they want an anonymous money transfer. And they move very fast on their relationship. So be careful. Now, computer scams. Whoa, this could take a long time. There are a lot of computer scams. But most often what they're looking for is your personal data. So be careful. Be careful of claiming rewards. This oftentimes you'll see rewards like this, and you'll click on to claim the reward. You'll click on the button. This looks like it's from Amazon, and they'll want personal information to claim the reward. In fact, they will probably want your social insurance number because you're going to be getting some money. This, of course, is a scam, and it's used to get personal information from you. So be careful. Be careful with most people. What they want is, the scammers want your social security number. This is the one piece of the pie they need to complete identity fraud against you. They need your social insurance number, so be careful. Be careful before you give out that very important piece of information. Again, there's been an increase in robocallers dialing from local numbers. According to the Better Business Bureau, neighborhood spoofing is an ever-increasing popular way to undertake scams and help criminals build lists with even more numbers to harass you. With the rental market being very tight, you'll often see signs like this on lawns. Oftentimes when you phone, they want an immediate deposit to hold the house. Again, when you go and actually look at the house, it's not for rent, and you've been scammed out of your money. I found a very interesting site. The Better Business Bureau offers a scam tracker. So for my area, I clicked in the location and found these were the local scams. And you can go back and you can look at all the reports for the area. This is a case of a lady who used this particular service. This was a web page called servicearea.com. She went there and she logged in, and she wanted to look for some services. I think it was the one that she used was she wanted to find out where to renew her driver's license. So as part of the service to log in here, you have to put your credit card number in. And when she did click on the information for her driver's license, it did take her to the appropriate site to renew her driver's license. But of course, this information was free of charge and didn't require this site. However, she was charged $19.95 on her credit card for that service. Not only that, but she was charged $19.95 the next month and the next month. So again, it's important to be careful and check your credit card statements on a monthly basis. If you do get scammed, it is important that you do file a complaint with the FBI. They have an online complaint form that you can fill in, but if we're going to catch these people, we do need to file a complaint. Now, many of us as seniors, we travel, so it's important to stay protected while you're traveling. One of the things, of course, is public Wi-Fi. This can be risky, and you should be careful if you're traveling using Wi-Fi in airports, at your hotel, or at public places. There are a number of VPN services available. VPN services offer you protection. I'm not going to go into that here. There's lots of information on VPNs right now, and I would encourage you, if you do plan on traveling and using public Wi-Fi, use a VPN. Your VPN will hide your IP address. It hides your social media identity. It keeps your location hidden. It doesn't give away your shopping habits, and it will protect your personal data. Now, on your cell phone, you will notice that there are two ways that you can connect to the internet. One is with Wi-Fi, and again, that's most often public Wi-Fi, and that is insecure. The cellular data, your data connection through your cellular plan, is totally secure. It's encrypted and secure. So if you are going to do banking, if you're going to do any personal information, you are perfectly safe using the cellular data side of your phone. So you should know how to switch between your cellular data and your Wi-Fi, because cellular data is secure, Wi-Fi is not. Don't use public charging stations in airports. You'll see in this situation, you'll see all these cell phones being charged at this public charging station at an airport. This is a very dangerous thing to do. When you plug your phone into this charging system, into this public charging system, your phone becomes a node on a network. And anybody then can have access to the data on your phone, and also can put bad things on your phone. This is extremely dangerous and should be avoided. Also, when you rent a car, you have your phone with you. Most of the new cars now come with a thing called Android Auto. And before you know it, your phone is connected to Android Auto, and you now have all your contacts and information in the car. This is great. You can travel around for your holiday, and you don't have to worry about your contacts being on your phone. You can call right from the car. However, when you take the car back to the rental company, if you do not delete all your personal data off the car system, then all your personal data will be available for the next individual who may not be your friend. Now, it's interesting to know the difference between a credit card and a debit card. A debit card offers no protection. A credit card offers protection. So please use a credit card for purchasing online information. There are 3 important places where you should not use a debit card. The first is purchasing gas. If you use a debit card to fill up at a pump, you run the risk of being caught in a common practice, and that is skimming. These are little devices that are placed behind the credit card device on a gas pump. This will skim your debit card number and your PIN. The information is quickly sent to the bad guys, and they are in your account and out before you know it. These are extremely common and a big problem when purchasing gas in Canada and the US. The second is online purchases. Online purchases, since this is basically a cash transaction with a debit card, you have no protection should you not get the goods or services you have purchased. And the third is at a store. Again, it is a cash purchase, so this makes refunds more difficult and also does not offer you the protection of a credit card. So please be more conservative with the use of your debit card. If you're going to be doing online shopping, we need to talk about some of the payment systems for this. When you pay online, there has to be some trust. In other words, you have a product that you're going to sell, and you have a person who's going to pay. And because of the transfer, you have to pay and then get delivered the service. I remember the old days, many, when I was a young lad, there was something called COD, which was cash on demand, and you actually didn't have to pay until you actually received the parcel. The most secure way of making an online purchase is by using PayPal. Let's see how this works.
Hi, Drew Angel here with an introduction to PayPal. Today we're just going to take a quick look at a simple question. What exactly is PayPal and how does it work? The easy answer is it's a way to send and receive payments There's a little bit more than that going on. You got your buyers and your sellers involved, or senders and receivers. Let's take a closer look, give you a little bit better knowledge on what exactly there is happening here, and see how it might help you out. So first you have the buyer side. When you want to make payments with PayPal, of course the first thing you'll do is create your PayPal account, and you'll treat it like a wallet. This is your digital wallet, or your PayPal wallet. Just like a regular wallet, you can hold cash in there in the form of a PayPal balance. You can have your debit card and credit cards in there from various banks or credit card providers. You can have multiple bank accounts, so checking accounts or savings accounts from a local branch, from online banks. You can add all of these into that PayPal wallet, and when you make payments, you can choose whichever funding source you'd like to use. So again, your PayPal balance would be your cash, or bank accounts could also be kind of considered cash, and then you've got your credit and debit cards. The cool thing is, when you make payments with PayPal, all those funding sources are protected inside that PayPal wallet. So the seller, all they're going to get is your name, your email address, and a shipping address if it's required, if they need to send you something. So that sensitive information, like the bank account numbers, credit card numbers, and expiration dates and security codes, the actual billing address associated with these funding sources, that's all protected behind the PayPal barrier, or inside your PayPal wallet. So consider, if you go shopping on 20 different websites, and you put in a credit card number in each of these 20 sites, well, that's 20 different chances that they could be saving your card number in their database. They're not supposed to be doing that, but a lot of them do. And if they get hacked and that data gets stolen, now your credit card numbers or bank account information is included in that hacked data. Obviously, this isn't a good thing. And again, when you pay with PayPal, none of that information is provided to the seller. All they're going to get is your name, email, and shipping address. So it protects you. You have this buyer protection behind that PayPal barrier. This is one of the biggest advantages of using PayPal to pay for things, and I highly recommend it.
So here is I just purchased something from Lowe's, and this is an email that I got back, and you'll see that I paid with my PayPal account, $57.12. Lowe's didn't get my credit card number or any information about me. PayPal was part of eBay before it was spun off in 2015. PayPal stock has gone up 220% since initial public offering. The company said it added 37.3 million customers in 2019 to finish the year with 305 million active customers. We're going to talk about Venmo in a minute. Venmo is a peer-to-peer payment platform used on mobile phones. PayPal says Venmo handled 29 billion in transactions in the fourth quarter. Now PayPal's gone even further, getting permission from U.S. Small Business Administration to distribute the Paycheck Protection Program loans to small businesses. Clearly, this is a very big company growing, and it's offering significant protection because your bank accounts and credit card numbers are hidden behind the PayPal account. Now, Venmo is the gold standard for peer-to-peer payment apps, and I would encourage you, if you are transferring money from one person to another, this is the most secure way to do that. It's again very popular and easy to set up. You may also be nervous about using credit cards. You may not have credit cards. You may have problems getting a credit card, or may feel uncomfortable using it on the internet. Cash cards are actually a very good approach to doing this. It solves a lot of problems. You'll see here cash cards are made by Visa, MasterCard, and even Kroger has their cash cards. You have to pay, in this case on the Kroger one to the left, you pay about $1.50 to purchase the card. Then when you check out at the grocery store, you would say put $200 on that, and then you would have, in this case it's a Visa debit card, you would have a cash card of $200 that you could use, and you could use it as a normal, like a credit card you would use, except it's not credit, it's a cash card. There's no limit. You're not, the only amount that you could ever be out would be the amount that you put on the card. So it offers a lot of protection. There's no name or any contact information associated with these cards. The only problem is that there is a monthly fee on the cards, and it often is about 1 or 2% of the cash value of the cards. So it's not a card that you want to leave cash on for 2 or 3 years and slowly use it up, because there'd be a monthly fee associated with that. But over Christmas holidays or something, if you have a couple of months you want to do some shopping and you want to do it online, you don't normally do that, then these cards actually work very well for you, and you can use them up in 2 or 3 or 4 months. We'll make that. The other option that you can use is that most people will do a lot of their shopping on Amazon, and you can buy Amazon gift cards, and you can buy these at the grocery store, or many different stores sell, and you can apply that directly onto your account, your Amazon account, which in that way you don't have to provide any credit card numbers or anything. Well, I hope you've liked our video on preventing seniors scams. Now you know the routine. If you liked it, please click the like, subscribe, and ring the bell. In the descriptions, I'll put some more videos that I've made that you might find interesting. And until now, please stay safe and don't get scammed.